Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Amber is also in the studio with me, along with Sam Whitehead.
The famous Sam Whitehead.
The famous Sam Whitehead. And I don't even really know what to say he's famous for anymore because there's so much out there on this guy right now.
Yeah, you're just famous in general.
Well, appreciate it.
What you're hearing, ladies and gentlemen, is The Price is Right. Now, I've been talking about this for a week now. When I said that Sam Whitehead was coming onto the show, people were saying, ask him what it was like to be on a game show, what it was like to be on The Price is Right. And Sam, let's take it back. So you went to California for vacation with your wife.
Yes.
And tell us the story. Why did you decide to go to The Price is Right taping? Like, how did this whole thing get started?
Man, really all it was my wife had never flown before, and we had a few days off there, and we had the money to go on vacation, so we were like, well, let's just go to a city. We were talking about going to New York or Miami, and then we just picked LA because we knew somebody out there. Angie, we knew her, so... Yeah. The whole reason why we went out there in the first place is just so Sarah could get on a daggone airplane.
She's never been on a plane before.
Well, she has now, to and from. So, and then I guess about 2 weeks prior to us going down there, we was looking at things to do while we're in LA, and I was like, oh, you can go to The Price is Right for free. That's like my favorite game show. Let's just check that out.
Yeah. So you went to The Price is Right, and you walked in. Tell me what goes into them selecting somebody to come on down? What goes into that process?
Well, that's interesting because, everybody always thinks that it's just at random, but there actually is somewhat of an audition process. So, like, you'll, after you go through this little line and you sign all this paperwork, you'll take a picture and then you'll come down this rail. So, like, 300 people go in the studio at a time, and they bring you down this rail like in chalks of 30. And this producer will just kind of come down the line and say, hey, what do you do for a living? Where are you from? Do you watch The Price is Right every day? What's your favorite game on there? And, you just got, 10 seconds to shine, really. And if you seem like an excitable person or whatever, they'll call you down. So they already know ahead of time, but you don't know.
Right. So they really are looking for someone who is going to go and show out on the show, like be charismatic, have a lot of energy. So did you turn up the voltage when you were auditioning for this?
Well, if you know me, man, there's no voltage to turn up. It's already there.
It's already on max.
So, and I tell you, man, it's interesting how they have to be, pretty good judges of character just, in that short time span right there.
So you get there, and is it multiple people talking to you, or is it just the producer just going around?
Just the producer. He just comes down there and he just asks you that question real quick, those 3 or 4 questions, and then he just goes to the next person.
Okay, and the questions are sort of like, what are you doing here? Where are you from?
Yeah, where are you from? Do you watch The Price is Right every day? And what's your favorite game too? Those are the most common ones. So I heard him ask those same questions, 29 other times.
Yeah,
so.
That's hilarious. And so once you get on the episode, once they call you to come on down, did you hear them say, Sam Whitehead, come on down, or did you just know? Did somebody tell you they're calling your name? Like,
man, all right. So like when you're in the studio, like it's so loud in there because they tell you that you still have a chance to be on the show when they're starting to call people down. So everybody in there's cheering, trying to be all exciting and everything. And I'm sitting there like, man, there's no way they're going to call me down. So whenever they called my name, they said, Sam Whitehead, come on down. And like I couldn't hear it because it was so loud, and I was the first one, and I didn't know how the process went at the time. So if you watch the full episode, you'll see the camera zoom in on me, and I'm sitting there looking around clapping like, who they call? And then Sarah finally starts tapping me on the shoulder, and she says, hey, you need to get down. They called you. There's a guy up there with some headphones, kind of like what I got on right now. He's got this big old sign with my name on it, and he's like pointing at me. He's like, you get down here right now, get down here. He's snapping his fingers at me. I'm like, oh, you'll see me be like, oh, yeah. I was the first one on the whole show called down too.
Well, when I say, that means that you probably were the best person in the audience. If you were the first one to call down, that means you were the one they liked the most.
Yeah, well, I didn't go in there and act all crazy or anything. At least I don't think I did. I mean, I was excited and nervous at the same time, but, there's people who jump all over the place and dance and grab Drew Carey up and Bob Barker even when he was on there and all that stuff.
And it's such an iconic show. To think about that you were on The Price is Right on CBS, national TV. Does it sink in at any point while you're there, like, oh my God, a million people are watching me right now?
Well, I mean, I I just thought like, okay, I'm on TV, but like it all happened so fast. Like I don't even know. I couldn't even like process everything. I was just going with the flow. That's just the way you got to be, man. Just like I am right now. I'm just going with the flow. If you're one of those kinds of people, then you don't even think about it.
Okay, so we have some audio of Sam Whitehead's appearance on The Price is Right.
Oh boy,
4 years ago. 4 years ago, almost to the day. Here it is, Sam Whitehead getting called down to be on The Price is Right. Take a listen.
I'm doing fantastic. How you doing?
Doing good.
Yeah, let's win. Where are you from, buddy?
I'm from Kentucky.
From Kentucky. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome to the show, all the way from Kentucky. George, what do we got for him?
How'd you like a brand new car?
And he wanted to get within $3,000 of the price of the car with.
Okay, I'm going to stop it there for just a second, Whitehead. We talked about, it says that you will have a brand new car. When he said, how about a brand new car?
Beetle. That's what it rolled out to me there, and I was like, oh, Beetle. That's what it rolled out to me there, and I was like, okay, so I might get a Volkswagen Beetle, but like I wasn't thinking like I was going to leave with that. I was like, man, just like I was sure that I wasn't going to get called down, and I was like, there ain't no way I'm going to win this.
Because that's the one thing people want when they go on The Price is Right is a car. And and that's what you were about to play. So now we're at the part in the video to where you're about to play the game.
Out, going over. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Go ahead, pick a card. Any card at all. Top card. It's an 8. Put $800 up there. 15,000.
Did you know how to play this game? I mean, have you seen it on TV before, or was this your first time ever seen it?
No. I mean, I was working during the day, and I hadn't watched The Price is Right in quite a time. So, Drew Carey sitting there telling me how to play the game and stuff, and I swear it seemed like it was an hour-long explanation. I was like, I was trying to listen to him, and I still wasn't sure what I was supposed to do. So I kind of just went off the crowd because they're telling you to keep going. They tell you when to stop. That's what I completely went off of, no lie.
Did you look at your wife Sarah and see what she was pointing up, or was you just not trusting her?
I tried. I mean, I tried to see her, man, but there's so many hands waving around. She was in play like the 10th row or something like that, and she wasn't sitting up front or anything. So I was trying to look at her, and she was hard to see. But I seen all them hands waving.
Okay, so now we're at the point. The game is over. Let's see if he's won.
He's going to stay at $19,000. Within $3,000 without going over. Between $19,000 and $22,000. That's the price range of the Beetle. You're a winner. You have yourself a nice little weekend car to drive around. Let's give away a car. What do you say? $21,000,
This is my favorite part.
Oh boy.
Yeah, this is great.
That was well played, everybody. Well, good way to start out the show, right? A couple vacations, give away a car.
Yes. Yes.
Man, I didn't know what else to say. I stood in front of that camera, I swear, for forever. And I mean, Rachel Reynolds is sitting there too, and I'm holding that license plate, and I'm just staring there, and I don't know what to do. And I didn't realize that they were wanting me to like get in the car and like honk the horn and all that stuff. I found that out later. But like I'm standing in front of there, and I'm looking at that camera. I'm just like, how do you like me now?
I have to ask, did you? First of all, do you realize that's iconic? You had an iconic moment.
Really?
You did.
Yes.
I mean, I even like when it all calmed down and I went back to the seat there. I remember thinking like, dude, did I really just say that on TV? I hope they don't put that on there. I can't believe I said that.
That's probably why your segment made TV.
Yes,
It's because
you made TV because of that.
Well,
That was, I have to say, I'm going to say it live, that was probably one of the coolest things I have ever seen done, and the fact that I knew the person that done it made it even better.
How do you
I
like me
appreciate
now? I mean, what else do you say when you just want a car?
yeah, you don't. That's what I'm saying. Like I had no idea what to say. I felt like I had to say something. I mean, what else would I have said? Just stood there and kept smiling.
I mean, I just have to tell you, I'm so surprised that you kept it together, because when I would have heard my name come on down, I would have lost it.
Well, like I said,
then.
I didn't hear it. I'm looking around to see who's walking down there. Who they call, and
they're waiting on
better
you.
get down there.
Couple questions though. So you won the car.
Okay.
Do you get to drive the car home?
No.
Okay. When do you get the car?
So between the time I was actually on the show to the time it aired, there's about a 3-month difference right there.
Yep.
And, I
Oh.
mean, I wasn't allowed to tell anybody. I didn't even tell my mom about it.
Oh, dang.
And I'm sure they got people on their payroll that if they they keep up with you or whatever,
Yeah.
and if they find out that you're talking about it to spoil the show, they
Yeah.
say, then they can you'll forfeit your prize. So I'm sitting there. I'm living in Richmond at the time, and when the show finally aired, about 3 months later, I had 30 days from that date to pay 7% of the retail value of the state of California. And once I did that, I started the process with the Volkswagen dealership in Santa Monica, California. And you would think that they would just let you go pick one up at Don Jacobs in Lexington, but
Yeah.
it's not that simple. They're just like overnight FedEx and all this stuff to me. I'm signing all these X's, and I miss one. They send it back. I do it again, and then they're like, "All right, your car will be there in a few days." They put it on a truck, man. They hauled it all the way to my apartment in Richmond, Kentucky.
And,
Wow.
And that license plate that you held and said, "How do you like me now?" That actually was on your car for a while.
Yeah, I had to take it off because the sun and the weather and all that was starting to fade it, and I was like, well, one day this car's not going to run. There's going to be a day where that,
Yeah, and he drove folks to the studio in the Price is Right car.
Yeah,
so
it's parked out there.
It's parked out there, so it's an excellent story to tell. I mean, and you can use that story like in class, Amber, when the professor always likes to say, tell us one thing interesting about yourself.
Yeah.
Whitehead can always say, I want a car on the Price is Right.
On the Price is
Oh man,
Right.
I did that one time. I got a new job, before I went to Round County, and I was sitting in like the new employee section, like the little segment there where everybody's trying to get to know each other, and they're like, okay, put your name in an envelope and write something interesting about yourself. And I was like, well, I'll do that. It hadn't even been a year yet at the time, so it was still kind of fresh.
Yeah.
So people are pulling out these the little descriptions on like the interesting thing about them. They're saying things like, "Oh, I've got a cat named Gato, and I got and I'm not hating on it, man. I mean, I'm sure this teacher over here likes to cook tacos and stuff like that. 'Cause they talk about that too. And then when it got to mine, I was like, well, shoot, man, I should have probably put something different. But they pulled mine out, and it's like, I want a car on the Price is Right, and everybody's like face just went, oh, yeah. And then the questions just rolled in after that.
So you make it to the part where you spin the big iconic wheel.
Yep.
And you didn't win and go to the showcase, right?
No, I mean, but it wasn't bad though, because the three of us, and this is just the kind of person I am. I was happy with what I had, and the three people myself and the other two people, me and this other lady, we won our games, and then the guy who actually beat us at the wheel, he didn't win his game, and I was happy to see him.
Yep.
He actually rolled $1. I got beat by $1.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, he rolled that, and then I was the last one to go, so I rolled 65 cents the first spin, and obviously had to spin again, and then the second spin landed on $1, so of course I busted. So
Yeah. If I only had that been the first one. But is that wheel heavy?
no, I mean it's about as heavy as it looks, I guess, but no,
Yeah.
it's not hard to make it go all the way around, because they boo you if you don't do that. You know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Yeah.
They do boo you because these little old women, they'll even
I
boo.
was gonna say my granny would have booed you.
Yeah, well, no, the little old women. I thought it was heavy because they sometimes have a hard time getting the wheel spun
Yep.
all the way around, so people will boo them.
Yeah.
These little old women.
Got to work on that posture, man. Got to have
Gotta
good
get
posture when you do it.
on them tippy toes and pull
have
it
that
real
back
hard.
straight and all that.
I wondered though if it was rigged ever, but seeing is that you were the first one called down, so you were the most exciting person in the audience. We know it's now not rigged because they should have sent you to the showcase if it was.
At the same time, it's not random either. Or at least getting called down's not.
Yeah. Iconic.
It was iconic, man.
Yeah, and you were also in the same studio where they shot Carol Burnett for 11 seasons. I don't know if you've ever heard of the Carol Burnett show. But
I'm not a big TV guy.
okay, well, Carol, have you heard of Carol Burnett? Amber?
I am probably the biggest Mama's Family fan in the world.
Oh yeah, now I know that.
Yeah. She was the producer of that show, but she did a show called The Carol Burnett Show on that stage for 11 seasons straight, and Whitehead got to stand on that stage and be a part of Price is Right history.
Part of history.
Part of Price is Right history. All right, ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, we have a phone interview